Is huge for Phoenix Suns fans as Tyus Jones has finally spoken out on his decision to come to Phoenix in today's introductory press conference. And this is big for the starting guard who really highlights what he wants to contribute and bring to this Suns squad. James Jones, Mike Budenholzer did a fantastic job alongside Matt Ishbia to make sure that this signing did happen. And we're going to break down how impactful Tyus Jones can be for this team for this deep playoff push that the Suns are looking to make. All of that and more on this episode of Suns Digest. I'm Bruce Velez. You guys have been absolutely fantastic showing your support, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button. So if you want to make sure you stay updated on daily Suns content, this is the place for you. Hit that subscribe button as CJ and I would greatly appreciate it. Without further ado, let's dive into the topic at hand. Make sure to grab a snack. And like I mentioned, Tyus Jones spoke out on his decision to join the Phoenix Suns today in today's introductory press conference. And he decided to come over to Phoenix, if you do not know, on the veteran minimum contract, which is an absolute steal for this Phoenix Suns squad. Now, Tyus Jones was a guy who definitely would have commanded some more money in this free agency class if this new CBA had not been constructed the year previous. Allows for a lot of teams that were interested in Tyus Jones to not be able to free up cap space or possibly move off of a guy to give him that contract that they would like to in that mid-level exception. Therefore, Tyus Jones, unlike some other players in this NBA class, free agency class, are going to have to pursue veteran minimum contracts or contracts that aren't really worthy of their playing style on a 1 year deal to kind of bank on themselves and bet on them for next season, hoping that more teams with bigger cap space will be willing to pounce on their acquisitions. Now, we know Tyus Jones is a fantastic point guard, a guy who's on the fringe of being a starter, but coming over to Phoenix, it was known that he was going to be a starter for this team, and that is why he made this decision. So looking at some quotes here from Tyus Jones, we got one from Gerald Bourguet here talking about Tyus Jones on making life easier for Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. Tyus Jones says last year he knows Booker, Bradley had to do a lot of playing the one, kind of facilitating and orchestrating their offense. They can do that, but what they really do is put the ball in the basket, excuse me. And that is something that Tyus Jones would like to help and facilitate with this Suns squad. He knows Booker and Beal are known for being volume scorers from the mid range, from the 3 point line. And even though they can facilitate and run an offense, it is not of their strong focal points. This is another reason on why the Suns were in bottom five in assist to turnover ratio and desperately needed some point guards and playmakers and facilitators to realistically set up this offense. Get these guys like Booker, Beal, Kevin Durant in their spots. Make sure that they can find them open and get them the shot that is going to be generated and guaranteed the best shot for them in that instance. Not a shot where they have to play make and then running into the corner and just getting a lazy open shot or trying to run out the shot clock and try to find the last thing open on their end. I think this helps the Phoenix Suns in a lot of ways. And we're even seeing it with Team USA. We're seeing with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant playing with the ball not necessarily in their hands that much. We're seeing them with success. Devin Booker today put up 5 assists for Team USA, and Kevin Durant has been absolutely lethal in shooting from game one from the 3 point range. Therefore, I see if these both translate with the Suns this season, Tyus Jones being a big benefactor in that success, with him having the ball in his hands for a majority of the game, regardless if he's finishing it or starting it with this roster and with this unit. Another quote that I want to look at here from Tyus Jones is why he signed with the Suns on the veteran minimum. And this quote was from Evan Cedery, where he said that the role that was offered up here was hard to pass. Now, as we all know, Tyus Jones is going to be starting with this Phoenix Suns squad. That is the main reason that he did come here. And there were other teams that did offer him some contracts. Teams like Atlanta and Memphis did offer him contracts with more money, but due to the fact that he could start and get that opportunity alongside three superstars in Phoenix was the best available option. If he goes to Atlanta, he's probably playing backup point guard behind Trae Young. Maybe they're running two small guard lineups, which isn't going to work out the best. Or in Memphis, he's going back to a team that recently just traded him and already has a top point guard in John Morant. It's clear that Tyus Jones saw after playing in Washington that he can be a starting point guard, is great enough to be a starting point guard, and wanted to have that role this season. Now, ultimately, no team could give him that $10 to $15 contract maybe that he would have wanted or definitely deserved. But a guy like Tyus Jones coming on the $3.3 million contract to kind of bank on himself, bet on himself, kind of prove to Suns fans and fans across the NBA, hey, I'm a starting point guard. I'm a guy that is a traditional point guard guy who's going to help you win games. I'm not going to take away from your superstars. I'm not going to try to take the ball out of their hands. My goal is to get them the ball in their hands and their best options to play, but also help you out on the defensive side, being a solid defender and playmaker as well. I think that this opportunity, compared to those two, Atlanta and Minnesota and Memphis, excuse me, definitely presented him the best opportunity. And having him start alongside these guys and Booker and Beal might be a little weird running a three-guard lineup. But as we've seen with Team USA, Booker's defense is solid. He can play the three pretty solidly and effectively, and having two shooters on the perimeter alongside Tyus Jones might help out with the three-point shooting that they did lack in the starting lineup last season. Now, the last quote that we are going to be looking at from Tyus Jones here is this one, where Tyus Jones comments on the roster here at Phoenix, saying it's a stacked roster, feeling like his game complements all of their games. And that's exactly what I see when I hear Tyus Jones. Look at his stats, like we've brought up multiple times before, averaging 12 points, 7.3 assists, like I mentioned. His job is to get the ball in the hands of Booker, Durant, and Beal for them to drop 25, for them to drop 30, for them to be those guys. Now, Tyus Jones is getting it good offensively. If one of those guys is having a bad game, is Tyus Jones going to shy away and keep feeding them? No, he's eventually going to take his own shot, going to take the game into his own matter, and try to win the game for the Phoenix Suns. Ultimately, his goal is to get those guys the ball and to let them score. He also is pretty solid on the defensive side as well, averaging 1.1 steal per game last season. He's going to be a guy that's going to be scrappy, a hard-nosed defender, and something that Phoenix really lacked last season. I think Mike Budenholzer, who is known for having good defensive and playmaking guards, would like to utilize this and bring this out of Tyus Jones, especially in this starting lineup. And that's something I could really see with Tyus Jones being that gritty playmaker, a guy that's going to dive for loose balls, a true out facilitator, and what Budenholzer wants at that point guard position. He also shoots 49% from the field, 41% from three, and 47% from corner threes. So he is a bit of a sharpshooter, can hit the open shot if it is presented to him. And ultimately, I think that's what the Suns need. I'm very, very excited with this acquisition. Like I mentioned, CJ and I really wanted Tyus Jones. He was our number one guy on the market. But when we saw guys, when we knew the contract that he was going to get and seeing the Suns being in the second apron, we kind of crossed off that, exploration. We figured he'd get a contract from a better team or maybe even get pursued in a signing trade. But ultimately, that did not happen. Washington ultimately lost him for nothing, and he was brought into Phoenix on a cheap contract, which is absolutely a steal. Now, we all know Tyus Jones is going to be starting. So with this roster and kind of this lineup, presuming a three-guard lineup of Jones, Beal, and Booker, or alongside Durant and Nurkic, and with the bench unit, we'll probably presume a Monte Morris, Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, maybe Bull, Mason Plumlee lineup. We'll have to dive in and get into all of that as well. But as you guys know, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your guys' predictions. Let me know how you guys feel about this Tyus Jones signing and how you guys are feeling about the Phoenix Suns. If you guys do forget, we do have a live stream coming to you guys on Thursday. I don't know if this video is going up tonight or if it is going up tomorrow morning, but Thursday we will be live at 6 p.m. PST for you guys on Suns Digest here. So if you want to make sure you stay up to date, get some talk, get some questions answered, discuss some more Suns talk with CJ and I, make sure to tune in. That will be a fantastic live stream as well. Once again, I'm Bruce Velez. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode of Suns Digest, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, and go Phoenix Suns.